Professor, my name is Chu Chao, and I'm responsible for two parts of this project. The introduction and the missing values part of the data description. Now I will start my presentation. First, introduction. The importance of college students' mental health cannot be overemphasized as students live leave everything they know behind and enter college. They may experience emotional and mental stress. Students from different programs, ages, and years can experience mental breakdowns at some point in their lives. Therefore, it is important to analyze the mental state of college students through questionnaires. Second, data description. The current dataset was collected through a Google Forms survey of university students to examine their current academic status and mental health. There are 101 records in the dataset. Then data description missing values. We can analyze the missing values. The following images show the missing values in this dataset. There are 101 records in this dataset, and there is one missing value, which is located in the age variable. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, Professor. My name is Mingyang Li. Today, I will present two parts of our group assignment 1. My presentation includes two parts. One is data description and second is sample. First, let's start with data description. For data description, variable description. For this dataset, we can first use SAS list table attributes function to review the type, length, format of each variables in the dataset. The image shows there are 11 variables in our dataset, and it shows every variable's type, length, format. Next, characterize multiple variables. By using SAS characterized data features, we can characterize multiple variables in a dataset. For example, we select what is your CGP variables. The image shows the result of frequency for categorical variables. This table shows the distribution of CGPA of students who participate in a survey on mental health. The CGPA is a measure of students' academic performance, expressed as a numerical value on a scale of 0 to 4. The table provides a frequency and percentage of students who fall into different CGPA range, from 0 to 1.99 to 3.4024. The cumulative frequency and cumulative percentage columns indicate the running total of the frequency and percentage, respectively, as you move from lower to higher CGPA ranges. The second is sample. In simple steps, our data flat was saved in CSV format. The CSV files was imported and saved as source file for data exploration. The produce on how to create a new project, diagram, library, and data source and convert the CSV files as source file is attached in the appendix. The data site collected was a site of student mental health service with 101 record and 11 variables. For our data site, for reclassification of row and level of the variables, we set 3 variables as a target variable for our data set. This image shows we set 3 target variables. One is, do you have anxiety? The next is, do you have depression? And the last is, do you have panic attack? And this image shows the variable summaries. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amar, and our group project title is Student Mental Health. So our dataset has 10 variables, and I am going to present to you about our univariate analysis. So for the first one for our variables is gender. Our survey primarily attracted female participants. The age range of our participants is predominantly 18 to 24 years old. For our second variable is age. The largest group of participants are 18 years old, consists of 32 participants, followed by 24 years old and 19 years old. The age group with the fewest participants is between 20 to 22 years old. For our next variable is courses. The most participants are from the Bachelor of Computer Science course, followed by Bachelor of Information Technology and Engineering courses. The courses with the least participants will be shown in the following graph in our report. So for our next variable is year of study. Our data reveals that year 1 students are the most frequent participants, followed by year 3 and year 2 students. And for our fifth variable is CGPA. The majority of participants fall within the CGPA range of 3 to 4 pointer. The least represented are those with a CGPA below 3 pointer. And then moving on to our next slide. Our next variable is marital status. So for marital status, the majority of the participants are not married and single. Only a smaller portion being married. So for our next variable is depression among participants. Most of the students who participated in the survey do not have depression. However, our assumption that those with depression are typically from the second year and above. Then for our next variable is anxiety. The pattern for anxiety is similar to that of depression. As you can see in the graph in the report, most of the participants do not have anxiety problems. It's important to note that anxiety is not the primary factor leading to depression among students. This is our assumption because some students might have anxiety, but they do not have depression. Then moving on to our next variable is panic attack. The majority of the students do not have experienced any panic attack. Only a small portion who have reported panic attack. This is coming from academic stress and deadline pressures. And then for our last variable is treatment. The majority of the students have not sought treatment for mental health issue. Only a small number of students have consulted a specialist for their depression problems. So our data set is coming from survey from University UIA. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Low. As part of my presentation, I will be presenting on bivariate analysis. So bivariate analysis is a statistical method to assess on the relationship between two variables. It also helps us to investigate whether there is any correlation and to what extent it is. Bivariate analysis is also a valuable tool for identifying patterns and trends and making prediction about one variable based on another. So previously, we have identified that age and timestamp are the continuous variable in this data set. So I'm using the age variable for my bivariate analysis. So as we can see here, I have identified a few bivariate sets which are by age by course, age by gender, age by year of study, age by anxiety, age by CGPA, age by depression, age by panic attack, and age by treatment. So the chi-square statistics is all over the place because a few of the variables are not significantly associated. As we can see for age by course, it's just 0.4842. So the p-value should be 0.005 in order to be accurate, in order to have it must be closer to 0.005 in order for significant association. So as we can see here, course and gender doesn't have any sort of significant association as it's above 0.2, yes. And for H by year of study, it also does not have any sort of association, and the likelihood of ratio chi-square, mental Hensel chi-square, I coefficient, contingency coefficient, Grimes V also have showed a weak association. So for H by anxiety, it's about 0.2785. That's about a little close to 0.05, and it's showing a moderate association for our analysis. Okay, like the likelihood for ratio chi-square is about 8.2748. Mental Hensel chi-square is about 0.8685. Phi coefficient is about 0.2735. Contingency coefficient is about 0.2639, and Grimes V is about 0.2735. So as we can see here, the rest of the variables, bivariate variables, are not significantly associated with with one another. So moving on to the next part. So we can see that we can actually deduce that age and anxiety exhibit a moderate association. Apart from that, other bivariate analysis indicate weak to moderate association between the variables. The chi-square test may be less reliable when expected cell count are below 5. The phi coefficient, contingency coefficient, and Grimes V are used to measure the strength of association in categorical variables. The mental Hensel chi-square is employed to control the confounding variables effect.